Okay, so get this. We're diving deep today into how LLMs are totally shaking up the world of software engineering.
Yeah.
We've got this super interesting research by Marco Vieira,
Hmm.
and he's really not holding back, let me tell you.
Well, what I think is so fascinating is how Vieira's looking at the bigger picture.
Yes.
You know, he goes way beyond just those little tasks that we keep hearing about with LLMs.
Right.
Like he's talking about LLMs being like woven into the entire fabric of software development.
Wow.
I mean, every step.
Yeah.
From like those first brainstorming sessions all the way to the deployment and even like the ongoing monitoring after that.
It really is like having this super-powered AI partner
Right.
working right there alongside you every step of the way.
Exactly.
But there is a catch.
Yeah.
To really make this work,
Yeah.
I think we need to figure out how to make sure that trustworthiness is built in right from the very beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when Vieira talks about trustworthy software, he's really talking about building systems that everyone involved can truly rely on.
Not just functionally, like, can it do what it's supposed to do,
Right.
but also all those other crucial aspects,
Yeah.
like security, privacy, even ethical considerations.
It's so much more than just building software that doesn't crash.
Right.
Right.
It's got to operate responsibly in the real world.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a healthcare app
Okay.
that leaks patient data.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Even if it technically works perfectly,
Right.
nobody would trust that.
Nope.
So Vieira is saying that trustworthiness has to be multifaceted. It's got to be baked into the DNA
Yeah.
of the software.
Okay, so then where do these like super-powered LLMs actually fit into this?
Right.
Like in this whole quest for trustworthy software?
Well, think about the design phase.
Okay.
Traditionally, that's been very human-centric.
Yeah.
It's lots of meetings, and you're digging through documents, trying to figure out what the software needs to do.
Right.
Vieira argues that LLMs can act like supercharged research assistants.
They can sift through tons of information.
Yeah.
Especially those tricky non-functional requirements.
Those are the ones that are so easy to miss.
Oh, they are so easy to miss.
Yeah.
It's almost like having an AI that can read all those dense legal documents and regulations.
Oh my gosh.
And pull out the key points about privacy and security or even ethical considerations.
That's the stuff that makes my head spin, honestly.
That's a lot. It's a lot to think about.
So let's say you're building a financial app.
Okay.
And you need to make sure it complies with GDPR.
Yeah.
An LLM could actually analyze all of those documents,
Absolutely.
highlight the specific requirements that apply to your app.
You got it.
That would save so much time and headaches.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like potential legal headaches, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a game changer.
It is.
But it doesn't stop there, right?
It doesn't stop there.
What about the design of the software?
Oh, yeah.
Can LLMs help with that too?
Absolutely. So Vieira suggests that LLMs could actually analyze those requirements we just talked about.
Okay.
And then recommend architectural patterns that are known for their security,
Interesting.
scalability, reliability.
Yeah.
It's like having an AI architect on the team,
Cool.
suggesting the best blueprints for your needs.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how LLMs can be super helpful during those early stages.
Yeah.
But what about actually like the nitty-gritty of writing the code?
Right.
We hear so much about LLMs and code generation. Is that all there is to it?
Vieira sees code generation as like the tip of the iceberg.
Mm.
He thinks LLMs can go way beyond simple syntax.
Okay.
They can actually help write code that's inherently more trustworthy.
Okay.
So like imagine an LLM that adds security features automatically as you're coding,
Yeah.
or suggests reliable third-party libraries,
That'd be amazing.
or even flags potential vulnerabilities like in real time.
In real time.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But it's not just about speeding up the coding. It's actually raising the bar for trustworthiness.
Yeah.
And it goes even further.
Correct.
Vieira also talks about LLM-driven automated testing.
What?
So imagine LLMs creating these comprehensive test cases that cover all those weird edge cases,
Oh, yeah.
the unexpected scenarios,
Right.
and they can ensure that your software can really handle anything you throw at it.
So it's like having a whole AI testing team
Right.
working 24/7 to find all the weaknesses in the code.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
It is.
But even with all these potential benefits,
Yeah.
I imagine there are some pretty big challenges
Oh, yeah.
to make this vision of LLM-driven trustworthy software a reality.
Oh, for sure. Vieira definitely doesn't shy away from those hurdles we've got to overcome.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yes, stay tuned.
We're just getting started.
We are. Welcome back.
Okay, so we're digging deeper into this fascinating world of LLMs and trustworthy software. Last time we were blown away by how LLMs could be used, integrated into the entire software development process.
Yes. But we also kind of hinted at some potential roadblocks.
Right.
So let's break down those challenges
Now let's hit it.
and see what Vieira suggests.
Okay.
So he starts by emphasizing how difficult it is to integrate LLMs
Yeah.
with the tools and practices that we already have
Right?
in software engineering.
It's not like we're starting from scratch here.
No, no, no.
We've got decades of established practices and tools and methodologies.
Right.
So where do these LLMs even fit in?
It's a puzzle, for sure.
Yeah.
So, traditional software engineering often relies on what we call deterministic methods. These are things that, follow clear rules,
Right.
produce predictable results.
Yeah.
But LLMs, they're probabilistic.
Right.
They learn patterns from data.
Yeah.
They make predictions,
Mm.
which is incredibly powerful.
Right.
But it's not always 100% guaranteed.
So it's like we're trying to blend two totally different worlds.
Yeah.
On one hand, you've got the structured, rule-based world of traditional software engineering.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you've got this more fluid, AI-driven world of LLMs.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a recipe for integration headaches.
It definitely is a challenge.
Yeah.
So one approach that Vieira suggests is to create these hybrid systems
Okay.
that combine the strengths of both.
Interesting.
So imagine using LLMs to brainstorm initial code
Yeah.
or test cases,
Okay.
but then you run those suggestions through our existing tools to
Right.
validate them.
So it's about enhancing our current workflow with LLMs
Right.
rather than completely replacing everything.
Yeah, more augmenting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even then, how do we make sure that these LM-generated outputs
Yeah, that's a great question.
are actually accurate and reliable?
Well, it comes down to really meticulous training
Okay.
and validation.
Mhm.
LLMs are only as good as the data they learn from. So if you feed them flawed information or biased information, their outputs are going to reflect that.
Right. So garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
We can't just throw a bunch of random code at an LLM and
Yeah.
expect it to magically produce
Yeah.
perfect, trustworthy software.
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Vieira highlights how we need to be incredibly careful
Yeah.
about the data used to train these LLMs,
Oh.
and we need really robust mechanisms
Right.
for double-checking their work.
So it's about treating them more like apprentices than all-knowing oracles.
Exactly.
Okay, so careful training,
Mm-hmm.
constant validation,
Yeah,
human oversight.
for sure.
What other hurdles are out there?
Well, another big one is making these LLMs more efficient.
Okay.
So right now, running them can require a lot of computing power,
Yeah.
which can be a big hurdle for widespread adoption,
Right.
especially when you're dealing with complex software systems.
So it's not just about making LLMs smarter. It's about making them leaner and faster
Yes.
so they can actually be practically integrated
exactly
into real-world software development
precisely.
workflows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vieira points to ongoing research into specialized hardware
Uh-huh.
model compression techniques.
Interesting.
And all of this is aimed at making LLMs less resource intensive
Okay.
without sacrificing accuracy.
Sounds like a lot of moving parts,
It is.
but incredibly exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yeah.
And there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vieira also dives into the crucial deployment phase where things can get really tricky,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to security.
Oh, of course.
So he highlights the increasing use of infrastructure as code,
Okay.
or IAC,
Yeah.
where your system configuration is defined through code.
So instead of manually setting up servers and networks,
Right.
it's all done through code.
It's all code.
Okay.
And Vieira suggests that LLMs can be a huge help here. They can generate and validate those IAC configurations
Okay.
and potentially catch human errors that could lead to vulnerabilities.
So it's like having an AI double-checking your work,
Yeah.
making sure that you haven't accidentally left any back doors open
Right.
for hackers to get in.
Exactly.
That's reassuring.
Very reassuring.
Okay.
So LLMs could play a crucial role
Yep.
in making sure that your software is deployed securely and efficiently.
Okay. And what about once the system is up and running?
Oh, they don't stop there.
Okay.
LLMs can actually assist with the ongoing monitoring and maintenance.
So the software's live.
Yeah.
What role do the LLMs play at this point?
Think of them as vigilant watchdogs.
Okay.
So LLMs can analyze system logs, looking for those subtle anomalies that might indicate a problem, like unusual login attempts or performance bottlenecks.
So they're constantly scanning for any signs of trouble.
Yeah.
And then alerting the human operators if something seems off.
Yeah, like a 247 AI security team.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
And if a problem does come up,
right,
could LLMs like help the developers
oh, for sure,
triage the bugs,
absolutely,
analyze reports?
They can even suggest solutions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's all about minimizing downtime.
Right.
And keeping that software running smoothly.
Exactly.
It really seems like LLMs have the potential to be like invaluable throughout this whole life cycle of software development.
I think so too.
But with all this talk about challenges, are we actually getting closer to seeing these AI-powered systems in action?
That's a great question, and one that we'll be tackling in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because we're about to explore the future of trustworthy software. All right, so welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into LLMs and the future of trustworthy software.
It has been a fascinating journey, hasn't it?
It really has.
So we've explored how these LLMs can potentially revolutionize like every stage of software development.
Right, from the initial design to the final deployment and even beyond that.
Yeah, but just like any powerful technology, there are some big challenges to address.
Yeah, in the last part, we kind of left off talking about those hurdles.
Right.
Like how to integrate these LLMs into our existing workflows, making sure they're accurate and efficient.
Right.
And figuring out how they can help with that whole tricky world of deployment and maintenance.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So are we any closer to actually seeing these systems in action?
Well, Vieira acknowledges that we're still kind of in those early stages.
Okay.
But the progress is happening really fast.
That's good.
Yeah. One of the biggest questions is like, how do we best integrate these LLMs?
Yeah.
You know, they're probabilistic, they're pattern learning with our current tools that are deterministic.
Right, because our software engineering tools right now rely on those fixed rules and predictable outcomes.
Exactly.
It's like trying to teach two completely different languages to understand each other.
It really is.
So how do we even start to bridge that gap?
Well, Vieira suggests like a collaborative approach, creating those hybrid systems that leverage the strengths of both.
Yeah.
So imagine an LLM generates like an initial code suggestion.
Okay.
But then that code is passed through our existing static analysis tools for a thorough check.
So it's not about like blindly trusting the LLM.
No.
Or throwing away all of our existing tools.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
It's about making them work together.
Yeah, working in tandem.
Each playing to their strengths.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But even with that collaboration, how do we make sure that those outputs from the LLMs are actually accurate and reliable?
That's where rigorous training and validation come in.
Yeah.
Remember, these LLMs are basically learning machines.
Right.
So their output is a reflection of the data they've been trained on.
So if the data is flawed or biased, those flaws are going to be amplified in their work.
Absolutely.
So we can't just throw any code at an LLM and expect magic.
No magic here.
The quality of the data is absolutely crucial.
It is the most important thing.
Okay.
And Vieira also stresses the need for those robust validation layers.
So double-checking their work, basically.
Yeah, it's like double-checking.
Okay.
So we can use specialized algorithms or even have human experts review the outputs so that we can ensure that accuracy and reliability.
So even in this like AI-driven future, it seems like human expertise and oversight are still crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about handing over the reins completely.
Right.
It's about using LLMs as these powerful allies.
Yeah, I like that. Powerful allies.
In this pursuit of trustworthy software.
I agree.
Okay, so as those validation systems get better, we're going to see even more creative uses for LLMs.
Oh, for sure.
Vieira even talks about how they could help ensure that the software keeps working reliably over time. So imagine an LLM constantly monitoring your system.
Right.
Learning those normal behavior patterns and flagging anything that seems unusual.
Yeah.
That could indicate a potential problem.
Exactly.
So it's like having an AI watchdog always on duty.
It is.
Ready to alert us to any signs of trouble.
I love that analogy.
That could be a total game changer.
Yeah.
So especially for like those critical systems.
Right.
Where downtime is just not an option.
Absolutely.
So it really highlights how this whole evolution is about so much more than just generating code faster.
It is.
It's about rethinking how we even approach software development.
Right.
With that trustworthiness baked in from the very beginning.
I think that's a great point.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway
Okay.
you want listeners to walk away with?
I think Vieira's research is a call to action for all of us.
Okay.
LLMs have this incredible potential to be partners in building truly trustworthy software. But to realize that potential, we need to be proactive. We need to think carefully about their training.
Yeah.
We need to be rigorous in our validation.
Yeah.
And we need to constantly be pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's true.
The future of software is being shaped right now.
It really is.
And it's up to all of us to make sure that trustworthiness stays at the forefront.
It's an exciting time to be in the world of software engineering.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
And until next time, keep questioning, keep learning,
Keep pushing those boundaries.
and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.